I was born in Detroit, Michigan, in 1920, and I stayed there for about 30 years. Finally ended up in Florida. But after, when I got to be 21 and the war started, I enlisted and picked my branch of service with the Air Force. And I worked there, and I had 40 missions, and I flew combat as a radio operator. I was a cadet for a while, but I washed out. I couldn't fly. I got lost up in the air. They grounded me, so I became a radio operator. So I had 40 missions over all in the south, in the Philippines, Borneo, Biak, most of the thing out there. Then finally ended up in Okinawa, was based in bombing Japan. Our plane was the first plane to bomb Japan the first time. What they did is took the plane, heavy plane, on a truck, and took it to the airport, to the Navy department, and put this plane on an aircraft carrier. I was not on it though, and blew it close to Japan. And they were the first plane to bomb Japan. It was my plane, P-25.
Okay.
So when it left there, they had to crash land in China.
Right.
That's where some of the money I have is for.
Okay. Okay. So you were on a plane. You were the radio operator.
Yeah, not at the time, but I was later on.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. So you signed up with the Air Force.
Yes.
And where did you train?
Tennessee and things like that.
Okay.
In California and Texas, I was in Texas,
So
Texas for a while.
Okay. Okay. So then they sent you to the South Pacific.
Yes, they flew me in the C-54 bomber.
Okay.
Not a bomber, but a plane customer.
Yeah.
And to Okinawa.
Okay.
From Okinawa, they shipped me to around Philippines, and I did a lot of bombing around Philippines.
Okay.
Finally ended up in Okinawa doing bombing Japan.
Okay.
I was in Japan when the war was declared finished.
Really?
I was really happy to have a year there.
Yeah. Okay.
I had 40 missions in a plane, so I flew quite a bit as a radio operator. Not as to get it.
Okay, so you flew 40 missions.
Yes.
And just different bombing missions all
But
over.
my missions were low altitude, RP tree high bombing.
Okay.
It was made for that. It had machine guns in the front, 4 of them,
Okay.
shooting 50 caliber bullets.
This was on a B-25?
Yeah, and they flew over the trees.
Okay.
And we had a parachute, we couldn't use it because what good is it 50 feet off the ground?
Open, open.
But of course, we got up higher when we did it. But over the target, we're low, 50 or 100 feet. Well, so we had quite experience. And the whole squadron, they painted a green dragon on their nose. I got pictures of it.
Okay, so the whole squadron, you flew and they were low altitude.
With the green dragon on their nose, shoot the
Green
machine guns, low
Wow.
altitude. It's quite exciting.
That's-
And I had 2 guns, but they told me I couldn't use it because they shot the biplane next to their own plane. They got so excited, they shot the other plane. So they told
okay.
I had 2 machine guns, but I couldn't use them.
They let you shoot
So I
them.
finally told my pilot, I said, after about 30 missions, I said to him, you know, I never fired any guns. And I said, well, okay. And you can fire the tail end, not the sides. You're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
So when we were there, I finally, guess what? I fired my guns, jammed on me.
Okay.
I got up to a tech sergeant, so that
Okay.
was pretty good.
Okay.
When I first landed in my base plane for combat, there were 6 people in my tent. And they went up on target when they didn't come back.
Okay.
It's got a sickening feeling being in a tent all by myself
Yeah.
with 6 empty beds.
Yeah.
They lost, crash landed with B-25.
Okay.
So that's the only bad thing in my life that I had.
Right, guys would leave on missions and not come back.
Right, it's terrible things that happen to you.
Yeah. What happened, after the war ended, what happened? Where'd you go?
Well, I
tell us about
come back to
your life
Michigan,
from the end of the war.
Michigan.
Okay.
So, and then I worked at General Motor plants, and I worked different places. Finally, at age 55, I decided to retire.
Okay.
And I retired 40 years. It'll be 40 years, I'm 95.
Wow.
I was at 55 retired. And the funny part is, my wife was 48, I was 53. We worked together for 2 years. At 55, both of us retired, and what we did is travel. I wore out 4 travel trailers, traveled around the country, United States.
Okay.
Went by plane, by boat. We used to have a good life. For 40 years, I had a good life.